The Great Hall of the Galactic Council had never known silence like this. For 10,000 years, the 12 ancient species had gathered here to decide the fate of star systems. They had survived wars, plagues, and cosmic disasters, but nothing had prepared them for this moment. High Chancellor stood at the center of the massive chamber. His four arms trembled as he read the emergency transmission again. The words burned into his mind like fire. The humans were coming, all of them. "This cannot be accurate," whispered representative of the. Her blue skin had turned pale. "The entire human fleet, every ship they possess." "The sensors do not lie," replied Admiral of the military command. His voice cracked with fear. 17,000 warships. They crossed the neutral zone 3 hours ago. They will reach Council space within 6 standard days. Panic spread through the chamber like wildfire. The Galactic Council had watched humanity for 2 centuries. They had studied these strange creatures from a small blue planet. At first, the Council had laughed at them. Humans were weak. They had no natural weapons. No claws, no armor, no telepathy. They lived short lives and died easily. But then humanity discovered faster than light travel. Within 50 years, they had colonized 100 worlds. Within a century, they had built a fleet that rivaled the ancient empires. The Council had grown nervous. They had placed restrictions on human expansion. They had limited their technology. They had treated them as lesser beings. Now, humanity was coming to collect the debt. Chancellor remembered the incident that started everything. It had seemed so small at the time. A human colony ship had entered space. The Empire had destroyed it without warning. 3,000 human civilians had died in seconds. The Council had done nothing. They had ruled it a simple border violation. Humans were told to accept the loss and move on. That was 6 months ago. The humans had been quiet since then. Too quiet. The Council had celebrated their submission. They had believed that humanity finally understood its place in the galaxy. They were wrong. "We must prepare our defenses," declared General of the. His massive form shifted with agitation. "Combine our fleets, meet them at the border, show them the strength of the Galactic Council." Admiral shook his head slowly. "You do not understand, General. I have studied their formation. This is not an invasion fleet. This is an extermination fleet. They are not coming to conquer. They are coming to destroy." The words hung in the air like poison. Several council members began to weep. Others simply sat in stunned silence. The representative tried to flee the chamber, but guards stopped him at the door. "Let me go," he screamed. "My people must evacuate. The humans will target us first. We must run." "There is nowhere to run," said Chancellor softly. "Their fleet surrounds Council space from all directions. They have been planning this for months, perhaps years. We were blind." Representative stepped forward. Her hands shook as she spoke. "Perhaps we can negotiate. Offer them compensation for the colony ship. Give them territory, anything they want." "They want justice," came a new voice from the entrance. Every head turned toward the door. A human woman walked into the chamber. She wore the black uniform of Earth's diplomatic corps. Her face showed no emotion. Her eyes were cold as ice. Behind her stood 2 human soldiers. They carried weapons that made the council guards step back in fear. "Ambassador," said Chancellor carefully, "we did not expect you." "No," she replied. "You expected us to be weak. You expected us to accept the murder of our people. You expected us to bow before your ancient empires and beg for scraps from your table." She walked to the center of the chamber. Every alien in the room watched her with terror. This small human, this creature from a backwater planet. She carried herself like a goddess of war. "For 200 years you have treated humanity as insects," she continued. "You us fair trade. You restricted our growth. You mocked our short lives and called us primitive. When the murdered 3,000 innocent souls, you did nothing. You laughed at our grief." The representative fell to his knees. "Please," he begged, We will pay any price, take anything you want, just spare my people. Ambassador looked at him with disgust. Your people celebrated the destruction of our ship. Your children sang songs about human blood. Your government gave medals to the captain who killed our families. Now you beg for mercy. She turned to address the entire council. Humanity did not want war. We wanted to explore the stars. We wanted to trade and learn and grow alongside you. But you saw our kindness as weakness. You saw our patience as fear. You believed that because we did not strike back immediately, we could not strike back at all. The chamber screens activated. They showed the human fleet in terrible detail. The ships were massive. Their weapons glowed with destructive power. At the center flew the flagship. It was 3 times larger than any vessel the Council had ever built. Our fleet carries weapons you cannot imagine, said Ambassador. Technologies we kept hidden while you thought us primitive. We have planet crackers that can shatter worlds. We have reality bombs that can erase entire systems from existence. We have plague ships that carry diseases engineered to target specific species. Chancellor felt his heart stop. You would commit genocide. You committed genocide first, the ambassador replied coldly. 3,000 human lives, men, women, and children, burned alive in the void of space while the Galactic Council watched and did nothing. She pressed a button on her wrist device. The chamber screens changed to show the beautiful cities covered its surface. Billions of lives went about their daily business, unaware of the doom approaching. In 4 days that world will burn, said Ambassador. Every city will be reduced to ash. Every monument will be dust. Every record of their existence will be erased from history. When we are finished, it will be as if they never existed at all. The representative screamed and collapsed. His fellow council members watched in horror. Some tried to protest. Others simply sat in shock. But we offer you a choice, the ambassador continued. They will face justice for their crimes. That is not negotiable, but the rest of the council may survive if you meet our terms. Hope flickered in Chancellor's eyes. What terms? Ambassador smiled, but there was no warmth in it. First, humanity will be granted full membership in the Galactic Council, equal voting rights, equal representation, no more restrictions on our growth or technology. Agreed, said immediately. Second, all trade agreements will be renegotiated fairly. The exploitation of human colonies ends today. Agreed. Third, you will broadcast the truth to every planet in the galaxy. Tell them what they did. Tell them what the Council allowed. Let every species know what happens when you murder human children. The Chancellor hesitated. Such a broadcast would humiliate the Council. It would destroy their authority forever. But what choice did they have? Agreed, he whispered. Finally, said Ambassador, you will watch. Every member of this council will observe the destruction of Prime. You will see what human justice looks like, and you will remember. The next 4 days passed in silence. The council members sat in their chambers, watching their screens with hollow eyes. The human fleet moved through space like a slow approaching storm. Nothing could stop them. Nothing could slow them down. They tried to evacuate. Human ships blocked their escape routes. They tried to surrender. Human communications ignored their pleas. They tried to fight. Their weapons bounced harmlessly off human shields. On the final day, Ambassador returned to the council chamber. She carried a small device in her hand. The screens showed Prime in terrible clarity. Its people looked up at the sky in terror. Let this be a lesson to the galaxy, she said softly. Humanity offers friendship to those who treat us with respect. But to those who harm our people, to those who murder our children, to those who laugh at our suffering, we offer only this. She pressed the button. The council watched in frozen horror as the planet cracked apart. Continents broke like glass. Oceans boiled into space. Billions died in seconds. The ancient empire that had stood for 50,000 years ended in a flash of terrible light. When it was over, Ambassador turned to face the council. Humanity has no desire for further conflict. Honor your agreements. Treat other species with respect. Never again believe that kindness equals weakness. She walked toward the exit, then paused at the door. We will be watching, always watching. The next species that harms a human will face the same fate. This is not a threat, it is a promise. The chamber doors closed behind her. The Galactic Council sat in devastated silence. The universe had changed forever. The ancient powers had fallen. A new force had risen from a small blue planet. Chancellor finally spoke. His voice was barely a whisper. Send the broadcast to all systems. Tell them everything. Tell them that humanity is no longer to be underestimated. Tell them that the age of human equality has begun. The message spread across the galaxy like wildfire. Trillions of beings watched in disbelief. They were gone, erased from existence by a species that others had mocked as primitive. In the years that followed, no species dared to harm a human. Trade flourished. Alliances formed. Humanity proved to be generous partners and faithful friends to those who respected them. They built schools on alien worlds. They shared their medicine and technology freely. They lifted struggling species from poverty and helped them reach the stars. But everyone remembered what happened to the story was told to children as a warning. The images of the burning planet were never forgotten. Humanity had shown the galaxy two faces: kindness beyond measure for their friends, destruction beyond imagination for their enemies. Ambassador retired to a small house on Earth. She spent her remaining years tending a garden and playing with her. Sometimes visitors came from distant stars to meet her. They always treated her with respect bordering on worship. She would smile at them kindly and offer them tea, but they could see the steel in her eyes. They knew what she had done, what she would do again if necessary. The galaxy had learned its lesson. Humanity was never to be underestimated again. Their short lives burned bright with passion. Their small bodies held spirits of iron. Their forgiveness was absolute, but so was their vengeance. The Galactic Council never forgot the day they froze in terror. The day humanity arrived not to conquer, but to teach a lesson written in fire and blood. The day the universe learned that the most dangerous creature in existence was not the strongest or the oldest. It was the one that loved its children enough to burn worlds for them.